Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got a lot of information for you guys today, so we're gonna jump right into it. This is the Fintel website that we've been keeping tabs on. I will go ahead and pin this in the comments down below if you'd like to verify this for yourself. So what it's showing here is the AMC short data. And right here, it's showing as of 3:08, which is Monday. Short volume ratio on the day, 17%. It started out the morning around 20%, so it's actually down at the moment. It's been steadily decreasing for some time. It appears that shorts have been covering. Here's the short shares availability, still at 350,000. That will update tomorrow. It should update Tuesday. And we'll have an idea of the change. Here's the short borrow fee rate percent. That's at 12.2 currently. Early on Monday, it was at 11.7. So the borrow fee rate actually increased throughout the day on Monday. The longer the time goes on, the more this borrow fee is going to increase, which means it's more expensive for the hedge funds to hold these short positions. They're absolutely running out of time to cover their shorts. And lastly, this is each day, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then the 8th. So about a week or two ago, it was steadily around 24, 25 in the short volume ratio for the day. And then last week we saw as low as 13.93 and is slowly increased back to 20. And now we're back down to 17. Okay, cool. Here's the YouTube trading portfolio update. Because that I was able to double down on AMC at a low price last week. I lowered the cost basis down from $10 all the way down to $8.75. And our AMC position is now in the green. Patience does pay off. These other positions haven't quite recovered just yet, but they are heading in the right direction. NAKD performed nicely on Monday. It was down a whole 30% before I scooped up those extra 100 shares at a pretty low price. And now it's back to just about $1. So I do expect to see some green on the NAKD position soon, higher than $1.08. Same with the others, they're also recovering nicely. I just was not able to buy the dip on those yet. Perhaps if they stay in the red going into the end of the week, I may just go ahead and lower my cost basis on those as well. Oh, jumping into the charts, I apologize if this chart looks a little intimidating. This is the upside down way to look at AMC. It's called the inverse. And normally what looks red here would look green, and what looks green would be red, so to speak. I've only showed this chart once in the past. We took a look at it during the live stream and noticed that it is indeed breaking below this trend line. So it continues to paint a nice pattern like so, aligning with this rounded top. Now, if we were looking at it the real way, that would be a rounded bottom. So yes, this chart does look like it's going down, but in reality, over on the right hand side of the screen with the prices, I'll put a tag on it even, is $9.25. And then the further down this chart goes, the higher the price actually goes. So this lower target is really near the old all-time high, about $30 and beyond. This whole box. So if we were trying to enter here on the normal chart, this would be our buy box, guys. Our buy box. But because this is the inverse, that does appear to be a nice target for the midterm. This is a 4-hour chart. It looks nice on the daily as well. So now I'll go ahead back to the normal chart. There's a lot going on with AMC right now. We spent a while analyzing the possibilities, and the bullish case continues to play out. Zooming way in, it's a 15-minute. We'll go ahead and clean up some of these lines. This is left over from the stream. Things nice and simple. So we saw the breakout through this resistance in the moving average here at $8.50. Rejection off the $9.50 area as well. So this entire range was our trading range for the day on Monday. A lot of chop going on. We were expecting this move downwards. It did occur, and found support off some of these moving averages. These shorter term moving averages. This is a 15-minute chart. So these are essentially 15-minute moving averages. That's very bullish looking on the short term, because we are seeing a lot of bounces and buying pressure step in. And currently, the price is pushing higher and higher up against this last line of resistance. It already got tested back here. It already broke through back here. So this resistance isn't a solid, strong barrier right now. We already saw it get rejected a couple times. So the next time it does test this area, I'm expecting it to continue higher. So instead of, I'm going to match these lines up, our predictions, with the actual price action a little better. See what we can make of this. That looks a little nicer. Something like this. And that, yeah. This does appear ready for another move at the moment. So I'm gonna put the arrow above the resistance instead of below it. Tuesday's looking bullish. I'm waiting to see more green throughout Tuesday. Hopefully we'll be closing some of these, let's say, 30-minute and hourly candles. I would like to see an hourly candle close up here and then a new one form at this now support line before continuing higher. I'm sure you're starting to notice the trend is higher. Nearly all the scenarios that the chart are telling me right now are higher. We already saw a small correction here. We saw a small short opportunity, a decent short opportunity, 7% plus to the red side. That move's already played out. We're done with that move. It's almost as if you can pretend this box right here never happened. Now that we're above that, next target would be this sell box. And that is coming directly from the old gap target. I'll show you that in just a second here. So the lower end of that box is going to be just about $10.50. Make some, yeah, that does, psychologically, it's interesting because we've seen a lot of closes at these nice round numbers. There's a close at 801. There's a close on Monday, 925. So perhaps Tuesday, 1025. A whole dollar up. Very possible. We are still within. We are still within this greater channel, ascending channel. I'm going to continue to watch that closely over the next couple of weeks. We are approaching the earnings very rapidly. It's on Wednesday, when the markets close Wednesday. We'll be announcing the earnings report, and people are going to make trading decisions based upon that. It's good to stay one step ahead of the news. Perhaps we continue bullishly on AMC right into the earnings, reach some of these targets, short-term targets, before some profit taking back down to support. I'm expecting a pretty clear, perhaps a stair-stepping pattern developing. It's a little early to tell. We're pretty early in this breakout phase. And I'd like to move on to GME, but before I do that, just note that going back to some of our wedge patterns, if you were to draw a wedge like so, even from the highest point up here, the steepest possible way to draw it really, the price is still above that point, still above that trend line, this upper resistance trend line. We saw a nice close on Monday above that. So it looks very bullish. The moving averages are also pointing upwards. And that's about as much lines as I'm going to put on this chart today. If you want more details of that, check out the live stream from Monday. Here's the MACD. And I haven't showed it for a couple videos. Not much has changed, but we are just about on the 4-hour on the MACD. We're just about to see some green bullish momentum stepping up to the plate. So not much selling took place yet. I'm hoping to see green on this very soon. That's the signal. That's our bullish signal in the crossover on these averages. Not quite there yet. It's getting very close The daily continues green. It's even higher than the last bar. So we're seeing continuation on the daily momentum. How about the 2 hour? It has crossed over, unlike the 4 hour. And the 1 hour is still green. Looks very nice on the MACD. And the RSI is interesting as well. Our second retest down here, we were just estimating. I was trying to explain that just because we retested this trend line once right here, this could also be a second retest, and that's now valid because that move is played out to an enormous jump all the way back up to the 70 to the overbought levels. So we are now entering overbought territory once more. I'm going to drag this box over. This box is relevant again. So I left it here on the chart. It took some time. It took all this time until it actually had meaning again. Now it has some meaning. We'll see what happens when the RSI gets in this box. Very interesting. Moving on to GME. I like to check out the volume indicator. Just the normal volume. There is a bit coming through still. It appears to be fading. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. It could either mean there's less people trading the stock, or it could simply mean that there's more people holding onto GameStop. If there's enough people holding GameStop, the volume will decrease. Not as many people are buying it and selling it. That doesn't have to be a bearish sign. I may be able to throw a trend line on the volume bars. I don't think I've ever showed you guys this before. It's not a foolproof technique, but it's worth making note of. Trend line like so. And then we are seeing quite a lot of bars come in above this trend line. That's noteworthy volume. It's nothing substantial yet, but it could lead into that. So that's the regular volume. I haven't been using the VPVR lately because of this extreme volatility. It helped quite a bit earlier on in the pattern development, and that was because we saw a lot of chop and a lot of sideways. So back down here, and this little wedge, if you want to call it that, perhaps falling wedge is more accurate, descending wedge. Nonetheless, in this area, the VPVR point of control was extremely relevant. It told us exactly where we should be entering GME, and it was around $40 in this whole time period. Now it won't give a very accurate indication based upon all these very large moves. Even for the VPVR, it's hard for it to pick a real level to use. So that's not the best indicator to be using currently. I'm going to leave it off. The RSI has been riding above this trend line consistently, and now it is curving beyond that trend line. Based upon that, we've already seen a couple touches over into a sell area. a profit taking level. This does look like it's going to shoot back up into overbought territory going towards next week. GME, it looks surprisingly bullish on the indicators, as it has looked for a couple weeks now. It's surprising because AMC has the earnings coming up on the 10th. We don't have an earnings date on GME coming up. So this asset is doing its own thing. That's why it's difficult to trade GME. The most relevant thing on the chart right now is this breakout of our gigantic wedge. I'm gonna end it with that because it's so relevant that I would like to just go ahead and let y'all think that over a little bit. Just look how perfectly this yellow wedge pattern is. It's a almost perfectly symmetric triangle. It just looks a little funky because of the crazy run up. But the way the candle closed on the daily, that's a very bullish candle. All right, great. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all have a great day. Happy trading.